Snapchat.
All right, Jamila.
Let me find you on Snapchat.
I got
right
Snapchat.
Oh, come on, my
You should be able to
Snapchat.
see it, Jamila. I
Branville
tagged
says he's on Snapchat.
UAE,
I have Snapchat.
Branville
Do you even know
McCartney
how to
account.
use this?
I tagged that one.
Listen,
I tagged that in the
I tell you
video.
how old I'm going to be, right? I think I go to midlife crisis. I start to feel it.
I didn't tag the national body in it. Okay. But if you see it, you can share it. You can share it to the page. Because if the video
Oh,
live
this
now.
is a good question too, and this is what I wanted to know. Do they feel that they campaign too late, especially being the newest party?
No, we've been campaigning for
You
5
only been
years.
campaigning for no 5
For
years.
5 years.
That's a lie.
Oh my God, look at the grade. I've been campaigning for 5
Y'all ain't
years.
been campaigning.
Yeah.
Y'all had 5 years.
We didn't come by your door.
No, I don't mean like that. No,
We've
no,
been
no, no,
campaigning
no,
for 5 years.
No. I ain't want no one come by my door. When they
We've
come
been
by,
campaigning for 5 years.
I close
You
the door.
treat them like Jehovah's Witness?
Yes, I
We've
do.
been campaigning for 5 years.
I don't like it.
Listen, the bottom line is this. You see what the government has been doing for 5 years.
Mhm.
It's terrible,
Yeah.
right? And you know what the other party did the last time they got voted out.
Mm-hmm.
That's plenty campaigning on their part as to why they should not be back, either the PLP or the F&M. This government, look, let's be real, this government has been terrible. This government has been terrible.
The worst, a lot
This
of people
government
say.
has been terrible. I mean, things are bad. I mean, I can't describe it. The government has been bad. So, I mean, because maybe persons may say, well, we haven't been campaigning, would that cause you to want to put the same government back in?
I don't know. I just think a lot of people, I don't know why, like, I even feel this way, but it's just like, I think at the end of the day, it's like, you know, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, like, did it really happen? And I think in this age, especially with young persons, like, visibility is important, and perception versus reality is a real thing. Like, the reality may be that the DNA was doing lots of things on the ground for 5 years, but the perception for a lot of people is, like, what y'all been doing? Like, I don't know if it's maybe people expected more.
Jesus.
I don't know, more posters, more town halls, more. You know what it is? You know, I don't know exactly. But
we were the
people
first
felt
ones.
Like y'all are visible.
We were the first ones to have a rally. We had 2 rallies before the first rally started. We've been out there. We've had protests. We've had press conferences. We've issued press releases. We've gone on the dump when it was burning and outlined our policy.
You know what? Maybe it's just you. We don't want another light-skinned prime minister. We saw what happened with that, and we don't want another light-skinned.
Trust me, I know what it is. I know what it
You can't
is.
trust him. Been there, done that.
I know what it is.
That's what it is.
No, I can tell
The
you what
light
it
skin and that
is.
curly hair. Too close to massa.
I can tell
Too
you what
close.
it is. I can tell you what it is. All right. But I can tell you what it is, because we've been having discussions about this on the show, and we can get into that. I know just why.
Okay.
Because trust me, the population ain't ready.
You ain't ready?
Trust me.
So are
We
we
have problems
wasting our time, effort, money?
No, you ain't wasting your
resources
time.
in
You
order
still
to try and make this change, this country, because you know if we remain with the status quo, ain't nothing gonna change.
No. Listen, I would never say don't do what you're doing. You know, do as much as you could. But personally, from what I've observed of the population, we are not ready to elect the right people because we ain't right ourselves. If you look at it, we are steeped in corruption. We are crooked. We are dishonest. We are entitled. We are a messed up nation, and these politicians come from us. So this is why they continue to elect the same people over and over, because it's a reflection of them.
So you would agree with the saying, then you get what you deserve.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
You get what you
Exactly.
deserve.
You
So
get what you deserve.
You get what you deserve. You vote for, and you get what you deserve at
Yep.
the end of the day.
I
Yep.
do believe that
Yep.
because my thing is, first of
So
all,
it's all you can do is what you could do.
Oh, yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I
I know
mean? You
that,
do
yeah.
as much as you could do, and it's
Yeah.
up to the people at the end of the day.
well, one,
Yeah.
the progress of any nation does not solely lie in the hands of the government.
No.
And my problem is, obviously,
You're
the
right.
government has a responsibility, but Bahamians need to take responsibility as well.
Yeah.
And responsibility does not just mean, oh, I mark my X, that's it. And that's why I get pissed off when people say to people who don't vote,
Yeah.
oh, you have no voice. That's
Yeah,
bullshit.
that's
My thing
ridiculous.
is, I didn't vote in the last election, but I'm sorry. I consider myself one of the more...
Do
I
not use that finger.
Okay. I contribute to Bahamian society
Yeah.
more than a lot of people do, and it's like
You got to vote though.
I don't gotta do nothing.
Yes.
I don't. No.
You gotta vote.
Guess what? I have
You
the right
got
to
to
choose,
vote.
and if my choice
You
is
do,
I
you do,
choose,
you do,
I choose
you do.
none of you, and that's my choice.
Oh,
That's my choice. And I'm very close to that right now. Okay.
Spin round up.
Seriously.
Let's get it started.
Seriously.
All right, welcome back Under the Rug. And for those of you that are on Facebook Live, you have already seen that we have gotten the conversation started. It has already been hot. The pre-show is on fire. Top and Brian exchanging, and I also, sharing my parts. But we are going to start the show right now, Under the Rug. And this is a special moment because this is the very first leader of a national party that we have had under the rug. We don't have much politicians, actually. We have social discussions, and, a lot of politicians, they don't want to get into certain topics.
Right.
And we like to discuss those topics, which is why it's called Under the Rug. All the topics they like to sweep under there, we want to discuss.
Right.
And so this is a monumental moment. I appreciate you for coming, Branville, man. Listen to me.
I appreciate you for
Trust
having me, man.
I have a great deal of respect for you for showing up because it's a little rinky-dinky show for right now, and you didn't have to come, but you're taking time out of your busy schedule to come, and we greatly appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you having me, first and foremost.
Yes,
And
so
continue doing what you're doing.
man, listen, I can't stop. I love doing it, and
Yeah.
this is my contribution because, like I was explaining before we started, I think our problems are social,
Yeah.
and we have to shift the culture. We have to change our mentality.
Yeah.
These are the things we're going to have to do, and it has to start with these kinds of conversations. And so this is just my part. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I
And
believe
it's an important part.
yeah, we're not there, but I'm going to do my part as best as I can.
Yeah.
So let me formally introduce you, the leader of the Democratic National Alliance, the DNA, Mr. William Arthur Branville McCartney.
How you know that?
Man, I go on Google, man. We got phones, man. That's the information error, man. I can Google that, man. Come on, man. That's the information error. And let me ask you, with politicians, how come so much politicians don't like to use their first name? They go with the initial and then, because I see a lot of posters around and I see initial and then a first name.
Yeah.
What happened? You ain't like your first name?
I love my first name. Some people call me William. Some people call me Little Willie. But my father is William. Or
Okay.
Willie. Or Will Mac. And so it would have been a little confusion in the house. His name is William Arthur McCartney.
Gotcha.
And my name is William Arthur Branville McCartney.
Okay.
They call me Bran.
Okay.
Right?
Uh-huh.
I use Branville only because when I introduce myself as Bran, people say, what? Brian? Bran?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Gotcha.
And then I'll have to say, like, Raisin Bran? Then, it takes too much.
Yeah, it's too much.
Conversation,
So it's just easier.
I say Branville.
Right.
And now they understand it. It's easier.
See, I didn't know that.
So I never used to use Branville. I never used Branville.
Really?
No, only I.
When did you start?
I started using Branville when I became a lawyer.
Okay, and which was how long ago?
26 years ago.
26 years.
Remember?
You've been a lawyer for 26 years?
Yeah.
Boy, you don't look it.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Just started looking. You see a little gray?
Little bit.
I've been cutting my hair low because I had to grow a little high.
Well, but you say that's campaigning, though. Campaigning has been rough.
Door to door.
Wow. Awesome.
Door to door.
All right, Mr. McCartney.
Yeah.
Once again, welcome.
Thank you.
And now I want to get right into the serious stuff.
All right.
Right off the bat.
Good.
I'm back.
She's back. Top is back. We also have Top joining us. I kidnapped her. She did the Entrepreneur podcast prior to this. And she had so much questions. And I know on Facebook she's been posting about this election quite a bit. Yeah, so I wanted her to stay so we can get, those questions for Brian. Because I'm sure he wants to know as well. Because he wants to know how can he reach young people?
Yes.
How can he get people on board to support his party and the movement that they're trying to do right now? So, serious question right off the bat. Brian, how come you was the only person in the DNA with these GQ fine treads looking posters round the town? Because I was driving up East Street just now, right? I say, hold on now. I look at the billboard. I say, hold on now. This a fine treads advertisement or what? I say, boy, look here. This picture look fresh. I say, how come Brian picture looks so good? How come one of you got these nice fine treads posters, man?
That made you driving to Bamboo Town.
Man, I was
That's only in Bamboo
I
Town.
almost wanted to go buy a suit, and I don't wear suits. So how come you got these nice posters around the town,
That
man?
light skin confidence.
Yeah, I know,
No,
boy.
that's Bamboo Town.
Uh-huh.
That's my campaign in Bamboo Town. No, the posters though say things.
Okay.
They say for real representation, for instance. They say check the record. And when I say check the record on the poster, it means check my record as a representative when
you were
originally represented Bamboo Town.
Right.
It talks about for a cleaner Bamboo Town, for a safer Bamboo Town. So that's my campaign within just the Bamboo Town area. So
Okay.
it's my personal campaign. It's not the party's campaign.
Right.
When
But
you go to the party's campaign, they have these other billboards all about making opportunities to make
Fixing the dump.
fixing the dump,
Yeah.
decriminalizing marijuana.
Oh, yeah.
All sorts of stuff. You know? So that's our policies on a billboard as opposed to just slogans.
Right.
We had our policies around, and in Bamboo Town, it was just for Bamboo Town with a different photo.
Okay. Well, I like them. I like them. They're different. They stand out.
Yeah.
They stand out. So yeah. Now that we got that serious question off the bat, right?
Burning question.
Yes.
I have so many questions.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Now I can start off with the good, because the DNA has a lot of good ideas and policies that I've heard so far that I'm on board with. Like you mentioned, the decriminalization of marijuana, which I'm for full legalizing, but it's a step in the right direction, and it's a lot more than we've seen parties willing to do up until this point.
Well, you know the reason for that, right?
Go ahead.
The
Tell
reason
us.
for that, we have seen so many young men in particular and women get a criminal record for being caught with a small amount of marijuana. When they come out, can't find a job, proper job, can't further education, can't travel, and their lives are ruined.
Yes,
We need to fix that.
I agree.
So we want to decriminalize it where you're not given a police record for being caught. You know, so many people do it, whether it's right or wrong. They
Right.
smoke, whether it's right or wrong.
Really? So many people
and-
do it? Who are these people?
and
I don't know anyone like that.
and thank you. And they're not caught. Or when they are caught, nothing happens to them because of who they are.
Right.
That's not right. That's not right. So we want to try fix that. We don't want to. We want to see. We want to allow young people to have a
thank you.
future, man. As opposed to, you know, to me, I mean, you know, drinking alcohol is bad as well.
Yeah, it is.
And
Worse, actually, to me.
It's actually
it's
worse.
And you know, you could get drunk and all that stuff, and nothing happens. But you get high on marijuana,
and
you go to
you're-
jail.
You're
Yes.
Go to
demonized.
jail.
Ridiculous.
Branded.
But the point is, you are scarred for life, and that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to save the future, you know. So we're not trying to encourage it, although I don't see anything wrong. But we're not trying to just encourage it, but what we're trying to do is to save the future.
You
of young
just
people.
said you
I
don't
love
see
it.
anything wrong.
That's major.
You have some cojones.
You just got all the Rastafari
got-
votes just now.
We-
Trust me.
I mean, no.
No, because a lot of people are
No, I-
afraid,
no, no, I
like
know.
especially with the Christian
but you have to
Council
be-
and all that.
No,
you have to
like-
be honest.
Yeah.
Look, from medical marijuana moving on, that works.
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
And at least you
And-
admit that.
It works.
Because a lot of people deny it.
Listen, I'm in the pharmaceutical business. I know about that. When I say I know about it, I know that
medicinal purposes,
I know
yeah.
that works for medicinal purposes. I know that works. Persons with cancer, that sort of thing.
Seizures.
And it has been prescribed throughout the world.
Yes.
Throughout the world.
Yes.
And it works. So, you know, maybe one day we'll get there.
Yes.
But
I have
And that's a
I have
good
a
one.
question.
Take steps,
I've
take
seen
steps.
I've seen these billboards, the few DNA billboards I have seen. I saw one that
Let's not get
said
into that
I could talk to him like that, and only me. The rest of y'all can't talk to him like that, so don't try it. But it was one that says creating more Bahamian millionaires. So I assume you're talking about wealth generation.
Yes.
So I want to know, because a lot of y'all politicians talk about, oh, what they don't want to do it. I want you to tell me, like, what is y'all plan to create these millionaires? Like, give me some steps or some things key things y'all think y'all gonna do.
Yes.
To spread the wealth.
you see, if you were listening to our convention, to our rallies, to us on Facebook and all that good stuff,
When my God.
you would have heard this over and repeatedly. But the foundation is this, right? No matter if the PLP or the FNM get in, it's the same people benefiting. It's the same people making the money. Same people getting rich. It's just few. You know?
We know, like-
we want to see more millionaires, and we are not talking about giving you money or taking money from
Right, what's the actual
we
plan?
want to
What's
make
the
sure that we
plan?
facilitate, and one way of doing it is through the Land Bureau. Where we
Okay.
have land as
Explain.
well.
Go ahead.
Land as well. We want to take the land. Crown land out of the hands of out of the office of the Prime Minister, we'll put it into an entity that will be able to distribute land to Bahamians. Crown land for industrial purposes, manufacturing purposes, technology, farmland, mariculture, agriculture, that sort of thing. And we want to be able to allow Bahamians to get the land on reasonable terms. The government will recapitalize the mortgage corporation or Bahamas Development Bank so that Bahamians can get the necessary loans for this land at reasonable prices.
And have the value,
And
the
then
full
the
value.
value of that land. The value of that crown land is where that wealth comes, and that's almost overnight success.
But I gotta
You know,
address something though, and I gotta actually bring it up. And we did a show on this before, Jay and I, and I think Top mentioned prior to us going on, where occasions where you may sound like the other politicians. And I heard on, it was, I think, Lester Cox show. It was the creating 500 new millionaires a year.
Yes.
Now, I had an issue with it.
Yeah,
Now,
I came to calm him down a
he
little
tried
bit.
to. Now, mind you, I don't have an issue with the idea. I like thinking big, I like ambition. But at some point, you have to be realistic with certain things, right? And what I think is dangerous about it, too, is for too long, we have been selling dreams to Bahamians, right? And the way it was put forward, it was put out like somehow we're just going to magically be creating 500 brand new millionaires every year. That's a ridiculously tall task, because I don't know if I could be wrong, but I don't know if we have 500 millionaires total to this point in the Bahamas. So to say we can make 500 millionaires per year is like.
Did we say 500 millionaires, or did we say we're going to have a $500 million stimulus?
No, it was 500 millionaires.
That's a whole different situation as well.
It was 500 millionaires per year.
You know,
People say you selling dreams. That's what they saying on my Facebook. You selling flicking
See,
dreams.
you gotta be cautious.
Well. Put it this way.
Okay.
I showed you how land is wealth, land is money, and that is one way of doing it. Certainly, there is the other aspect of the of the $500 million stimulus that we wish to do for the country. You see all this money that we get, all this money that comes into the economy. Well, we want to be able to allow business persons, we want to be able to allow entrepreneurs to capitalize on that. We want to allow them to be in a position where they get the concessions, just like the foreigners get the concessions, and to do things. We want to relax our exchange control laws. I tell you, if we were able to, you want to see a hell of a lot of millionaires, you relax those exchange control laws, and the same thing, a person could come over here and start a cable company, start a cell phone company, maybe start a television station, buy a hotel, buy cruise ships. Bahamians could do that as well. Own banks, Bahamians could do that as well, because by relaxing those exchange control laws, you are now able to
Stimulate growth.
access capital or money from outside the country, right? That is what we want to do. I'll give you an example. I saw a motel I wanted to buy at one time.
Okay.
I was in a. I just.
Oh, you got plenty of money.
I was waiting. I was going to get to it.
Mine would be.
Yeah, well, let me
I
know
was going to
something.
get to it. Did you see all those declarations
Yeah,
in the
boy,
paper?
I
Can need that little tape.
I had just done a transaction
Right.
that had me tied up,
Okay.
right? So what was needed for this motel, I couldn't do it because the banks here, they already got my grandchildren, right? All tied up. But had I had the option to access capital at 3% outside the country, I could have gotten that for little or nothing, right? And paying back in interest or pay back terms for little or nothing. That's the problem. A foreigner could come here with no money at all, access our banks as well as the banks away, and buy or start a cable company, for instance.
Right. But see,
Like
that's
they
the
did.
thing. My thing is, and this is why I say I don't have a problem with the goal, right? But I think what politicians tend to do is they frame things wrong, right? They frame it in this grandiose, hyperbolic fashion to where it's like, come on, it's unrealistic. So if you focus on like how you just broke down and explain exactly how we can make things, because governments don't make millionaires.
No.
A government's job is to just
great jobs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
And I've always said that.
See, and I'm glad you said that.
We have that
But what do they say
problem.
all the time? Oh, we've created 33,000 jobs.
No.
That's nonsense.
You
cultivate
facilitate.
the- yep, yeah.
You facilitate.
Exactly.
For instance, if you're a business person, we want to facilitate your business. One of the things we want to do as well, when you talk about millionaires and all that stuff, listen, man, you know what's killing people in this country now? That business license.
And I was going to get to that.
That
That's
gross.
another one I like.
The gross.
Yes.
Look, next year, the 30th of March or April, when our business license is due, you can pay a flat fee for small, medium, and large.
That's another idea I love.
Cannot go on your gross. You can make $2 million a year in gross,
Right.
but still don't make a profit.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
You could, because you have so much outlay in terms of stock and all that stuff. So we want to fix it. And we believe, right, by doing that, they'll say, what happened to the money then that goes to the government? Well, by having those businesses build and expand, they employ more people. More people then now pay national insurance. So
Right.
our goal is to build businesses, build young people, not to step on them and keep them down. It is to make sure that they
But
have
that's
success.
that's a better framing. You see,
But you
my
guys-
issue is just
you know
the
how long
framing.
that take to say?
No, but then again, you
could
could condense it. There's a way you can condense it, you know what I mean? You don't have to get that detail. If you have the opportunity to really break it down, then you break it down. But when you put things up, because people hold you to what you say.
I want them to hold me. Let me tell you, whatever we say, I want you to hold me to. Listen, I have a record. I mean, I'm not perfect. But look, even from my representation of Bamboo Town, to me being the Junior Minister of Tourism and Aviation, and what we did there, and being the...
But you know, this is what have you done for me lately society now. People ain't gonna remember all that stuff.
Bahamians are
we just forget quick.
I know.
We just forget quick.
No doubt, you're absolutely right about that. But the reality is, people forget, but that can be to their detriment. We cannot forget what this government has done. We cannot forget that. We cannot forget that both PLP and FDM had an opportunity to fix that dump, and they failed to do it. $35 million given 20 plus years ago, or granted 20 plus years ago to the F&M party, and we don't know where that money gone yet. And we paid back about $15 million, and we continue to pay back $15 million.
Okay, well tell me this. What are your, now we know that. We know all two of them, and I say this all the time. Both parties have contributed to where we are right now. Both, the F&M had 15 years, and the PLP had what, 25, 30, whatever the remainder is, right? So both governments have contributed to this, the degradation of the society. What I want to know is, what do you plan to do with the dump? What are your plans from day one? What are you going to do to fix the dump? Because I see the billboard say, you want the dump fixed? Vote DNA. So what is the DNA going to do to fix the dump? And what are your plans for the dump?
Last year, March, we were out on the dump when it was burning, and we outlined our plans. It's similar to Sweden, what Sweden does. We want to make the dump waste to energy.
Awesome idea.
Now, a year ago, see, and you were talking, you didn't hear about the DNA and all this stuff.
I didn't. I'm being honest.
We were.
I
He did see that.
No, I told him when he came in here, I'm like, it's like y'all fell off the face of the
A
earth.
year ago, no man. I invite you again to go to our Facebook page or
No.
download
All the files are there.
WhatsApp,
All the
everything
files
is there.
are
Okay.
All the reports,
Yes.
everything.
I went on
But you
Facebook.
asked me about the dump. On the 20th of March, it was 2016. We were on that dump outlining our plans, and it's simple. We're going to do what Sweden did. We can do what Sweden did.
What did they do?
You know what Sweden did?
Tell us.
They turned waste to energy.
I love
They
it.
have to import- they have to- they have to
No, more
import their
important
waste now.
question.
I love it.
At the end of the day, how did they afford this? How did they afford this? How? How, Sway?
You have persons today. You have persons today who are willing to come to this country without us going in our own pocket and partner with this country.
Yes.
So what's
To
the
let
issue
the
from
government-
your
will.
standpoint?
When I was in government,
And
when I was
interest
in
in
government,
the crude
it was
oil.
government of the day.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
yes.
That's what the problem
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I was-
Political interest in crude oil sales to PEC.
The problem is, every
I know.
month you have the Bahamian people paying $30 million to a company that's owned by both the PLP and the F&M.
Really?
Okay, that services those generators out Clifton Pier with oil. $30 million. Now you really think
And you say a month?
$30 million a month?
Jeez.
Do you really think these guys want to change that?
No.
Wouldn't they have done that already? Think about it. This ain't rocket science. This is done all around the world. Our closest neighbor in Florida is right there. You pass in the dump and you don't even notice the dump in these places. I'm affected by the dump.
Yes.
I live not too far from the dump. As a matter of fact, I live perhaps on the dump.
Yeah, right on top.
Right on
Yeah.
top of the hill.
Right on the dump. When that sucker burns, let me tell you something. I've had to leave my house many, many times. My wife, my children, and I. We had to leave in the middle of the night because we are completely, you know what hurts me though? Those
that?
people who can't leave or ain't got no place
Yes.
else to go.
Yes.
And I saw it for like a month straight, especially in that Jubilee Garden area.
Yes, I used to live there.
Where that smoke
Oh, it settles.
just settled there.
Yeah.
And these people ain't got nowhere,
Nowhere to
to
go.
go.
Yeah.
I have-
Now that is what gets me. I can pick up and
And
I
go.
go. You know,
Yeah.
I go out to one of my wife's schools and we
Uh-huh.
slept in the classrooms.
Wow.
Right?
Right.
At night.
Uh-huh.
When people come, dash out,
Yeah, you gotta
take a
go.
shower, go
Right.
away.
He already
Wow.
said what he's going to do with young men and joints. He's going to decriminalize marijuana. But what I want to know, 2 questions is, one, I asked, like, how are we going to afford this? Because, you know, the economic situation the country's in and the debt. Like, if you guys were to be elected, what would be your action plan? And also, my other question that's not really related is, if people vote for the DNA and they vote, you know, Branville, you know, to be the leader of the country, how do we know that? How can we trust that you're not just feeding us what we want to hear? And what would you say to people who say, well, you're just like them because at the end of the day, you're part of the top, I don't know, 10%, 5%. You come from amongst them. You were in the F&M. You're saying all the stuff that the F&M did, but you decided to be a part of them at some point. So how are people to trust? How are people to trust that you will actually be different and maintain all the things you're saying, and then also talk about the economic part, because that's a big thing that everyone's talking about, like the economic kind of crisis we're kind of in. Yeah.
I left the F&M. I was a cabinet minister. I was.
You left money on the table.
I,
You got
I,
that
I,
J
le-
Fix?
I left a safe political position.
Yes.
I left everything that comes along with it.
All the
Power,
perks.
Perks, everything. I had a very strong position in the F&M at the time. I left that. I stepped down because the party that I grew up in was not the party that I recognized. And I left that. It was not an easy decision. Now, that's not something everybody else would do. For instance,
And we've seen that.
for instance, we would see where people just sit there. I
Yep.
have some friends in the PLP, and I asked them, why are they still there?
But man, you could just
I
go to
see.
the most obvious one. The man put his constituents' lives at risk
Poison.
just so he doesn't lose his cabinet
his
position.
cabinet position.
So
Let
that
me
is
tell you.
it's very commendable, and we respect that you were able to leave all of that.
And leave that with all the ridicule in the world, because only me. And like the former prime minister said, I left with only me and my brother. That's what he said.
About leaving,
but-
it was supposed to be more than you, though. At that time, when you crossed over.
There were persons who did not want to vote for the BTC sale. And I went to my constituents
Okay.
in Bamboo Town at the time. We had meetings, and we used to do this all the time. Anytime there were big issues being discussed in the House Assembly, we call a meeting. We'll have meetings at CV Bethel so I could get their view on
Yes.
it. That's what we do.
That's what you
I
should
work
do.
for them.
Yes.
I represent them. So I went to Bamboo Town. I said, look here, what do you want me to do? The F&M is saying you need to vote in favor of the sale of BTC. Personally, I didn't agree with that sale. But I wanted to hear what my constituents wanted me to do.
Right.
What they wanted.
80% of them said
Said
no.
no.
As a matter of fact, at that same meeting, we have it recorded.
Oh, really?
We had the F&Ms come there and break up my meeting.
Really?
Yeah, I remember that.
How come we've never seen this, Brad?
It was there. It was on social media.
Oh, it's there. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Really? Oh,
apparently.
I haven't even
Right
seen
there.
it.
People,
never saw
what
that?
you do
Never
think
saw
is
that.
Maybe
They
people
can't.
will
Wow.
I am asking
That's
my
his personal
Wow.
page.
I am asking my candidate, my constituents, Bamboo Town, who elected me at
Yes.
the time, what do you want me to do? And we had members of the F&M come to my meeting
Wow.
and break up my meeting.
Wow.
Got it on tape. Anyway, their point was they didn't want to sell the BTC, and I voted accordingly. So, and then going out and starting and being part of an organization, start something new that is against all odds. Come on now, you really think at the end of the day we don't want to do something good for this country? You think it's just about being one of, give us an opportunity. You haven't given us an opportunity, but the opportunity you have given me in Bamboo Town, I think I've proven to be a good representative at the time. That's why I campaign on my record. As a matter of fact, one of those billboards you're talking about, you standing up
Yeah.
in the fine press.
Yeah, yeah.
But the light skin pose, don't forget that part.
You got something against light skin.
I know. I actually, you know what? I have a history of only dating light skinned guys, and I think I need to switch. I think there needs to be a shift in my life.
That's a problem. That's a problem. You got. Let me. That's all I thought. Let me die.
I like how you pick up on that. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. See now, you know what you're doing, right?
I'm projecting.
You are painting all light-skinned fellas.
Yeah.
With that same brush those other fellas. It's just
Not
like
really.
It's just like you saying
All
all politicians are the same.
Oh, no, that's different.
Okay.
All politicians are the same.
No, you can't say that. I'm not the same, man.
So you're saying you're not the same.
I don't think the people who in the DNA, they're not the same. They're going against all odds and they're standing out and standing up against everything. I mean, listen, many of us don't have to do this. Mm-hmm. You know what this takes. You know what kind of effort this
That's
takes.
true, and you're a successful businessman. You don't have to do it.
You know what kind of victimization from your businesses, personally, that you would have endured. Do you know what kind of resources you have to spend? You know what kind of time you got to spend away from your family, your wife, and your children? You know the effort this takes. Because someone asked me why I do it. I said because I could see a better Bahamas. I know we could do it.
And not because you're thirsty for power. Let's just make that clear.
I had power.
Because people...
I had power.
Okay.
I left it. I had power. I left it.
But I could address that because you know that's the thing they say about you a lot.
Yeah, like you want attention. He's overly ambitious. He's like Macbeth.
You want power. You power hungry. You want to be leader. What I say all the time is right.
Macbeth wanted power.
Something about people. People funny. The thing is, if they like you, they can lie for you. If they don't like you, they can lie on you. So they say that they would take if you were somebody else that they liked, their perception would be completely different. So you can't really worry about these people that say these things, because if it was a member, because I could almost guarantee you that they are from a party or somewhere that doesn't support you when they come up with that, because I've heard them say about PLP members, oh well, they're these cowards, they don't want to take the leadership, they're scared, they don't want to take their position, but then they bash you for doing just that. For asserting yourself and taking this leadership role. So you can't really mind people, because people, if they don't like you, nothing you do, they go
I agree.
approve of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I don't like to hear people say that nonsense. That's just a matter of them not liking you. You know what I mean? And that's
I appreciate that. And that's the truth. Look, it's not about power, because I was there. I walked away from it. I don't think you find many politicians today who've done that.
right.
They stay there because they don't want to lose their job.
Yep. And they say it,
notwithstanding the water killing you.
say it cold.
Right? It's not for money,
Right.
because I worked hard.
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
invested.
Right. And you already have money.
You have money.
I worked hard.
Yeah.
And I've invested.
Yeah, man.
Okay?
You know, he doesn't want to say I have money. You don't want to come in and say it, Mr. Moneybags.
No, my wife has money.
Way to go. Plug it.
He totally. That was a good thing. That was a
Smart
good
man.
thing.
I married well. I know
You married up.
I married up.
You're a smart man. You're a smart
I
man.
invested well.
Yes.
I said I invested.
Yes. Very smart man.
Okay. And so it ain't about that.
Right.
It ain't about power. It's about seeing a better country that I know we could have, that I want. I have 3 children. I have a 21-year-old daughter in college. I have a 14-year-old daughter, and I have a 7-year-old son, who, by the way, just got expelled from his mother's school for fighting.
What?
Really? Just got expelled.
What?
Yeah, man. I tried to represent him.
Wow.
I was overruled, boy.
But that's
Well, at least you know there's no favoritism.
exactly.
In the
I was about to say,
He got
because
expelled.
you got expelled.
last week.
If your
Yeah.
man throw you out.
He got expelled last week.
Yes.
Hold on.
Expelled?
Yes.
My son? My
Oh
little
wait,
boy.
not suspend. You sure you don't mean suspended?
He got expelled.
Oh.
Wow.
I just
Out of the
dropped-
school?
he goes to another school now.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
He goes to another school now.
That is incredible. That is incredible.
I try to, represent him.
Right, but you couldn't.
But I ain't been practicing law in such a long time, man. I lose that case.
Hey, you say you marry a smart woman.
Yeah.
So you have to accept that.
I lose
you
the
get the
case,
good
man.
part, and you got to accept that you
Yeah,
can
man.
lose them arguments.
So what I was saying though, and he's 7. I warned them. like all young people, to have a better life than what I've had. The way things are going,
That ain't
it's
gonna
shaping
happen.
up that way.
Right.
Young people like yourselves, it could be rough, but it doesn't have to be. We need to change this country. We need to deal with this crime problem first and foremost, and then we need to bring this economy back around where people can have opportunities, where people can work to be whatever you want to be. The talent that I see you have.
Here comes the lotioning. Okay, we all know I'm talented. Yes, continue.
Can you just take the compliment?
That you all have. Why can that be used to enhance your life? Right? You're not worse than anybody in the States or in Europe. You're just as good or even better. Right? And that goes to all young people out there. Don't limit yourself because we live on an island 21 by 7.
But let's
Don't
get
limit
but let's
yourself. I want you to be what you want to be, the kind of PM I want to be. I want to encourage, I want to push you. I want to make sure that you do what you want to do. There's nothing in life you cannot do once you have the help of the Almighty. There's nothing you cannot do.
But you know,
I guarantee you.
that is so much I want to touch on in that little piece that you just said. But the one I want to get to is, you mentioned crime, right? And what's your position on crime and dealing with it? What do you feel is the root cause of crime, and how do we remedy it?
Multifaceted, lack of education. It goes back to social issues. I mean, it's so multifaceted in terms of dealing with crime. Lack of jobs, Unfortunately, we have a lot of young people who turn to crime because they can't put food on their table. They can't buy pampers for their children. I don't say it's right, but the reality is that is what happens, right? If you don't got no money, your child hungry, you stealing. Unfortunately, that should not happen. Barack Obama said, the longer the graduation lines, the shorter the lines are to the prison. And I believe that. But it's so multifaceted. What is also there is our failure to enforce our laws, and for there not to be consequences for crime. For instance, if you commit murder, you need to go speak to Jesus. You need to speak to Jesus. Capital punishment must be enforced. If you rape, if you are a sexual predator among young children, the harshest penalties.
So is that what the DNA is going to do? We all already know this, but we want to know what's the DNA's plan for crime. But all these people are asking questions. But no, listen, Rand. This is your time to get the swing voters. People want to know.
Yes, we've said this over and repeatedly. I've been talking about crime before I got into politics.
Say it again.
But I've been talking about crime. I used to be the chairman of the Crime Prevention Committee of the Chamber of Commerce from 2004 to 2006, and I'm not saying nothing different.
Well, tell us, because there are people who don't know.
Yes, that's what we're going to do.
But you know what's important?
Go to our website. Go to our, if you don't mind, go to our...
No, we don't want to go to the website. Tell us 2 things you're going to do
People want to be spoon-fed and they don't want to go and research.
I agree, but I'm still saying this is an opportunity. It's still an opportunity.
Two things. We're going to educate people, right? And we're going to enforce the laws.
Now, when you say educate, expand upon that for me.
Well, we have we have a de-average. We have a lot of persons who, for instance, we talk about it.
Now let's be careful with the de-average thing. Now a lot of people throw this de-average thing out, right? And that's on the BGCSE scale, right?
Right.
Which isn't the 5-point scale. This is the one that goes to G, I think it is. So it's actually in the middle, which is average. So if it was 5 point, it would be C. But I get your point.
Let me put it this way.
Okay.
We got half of our students every year, 2,500 of them, coming out with a leaving certificate.
That's a problem.
Okay, yes.
That's a problem. But what are we going to do to change that, though?
So in the last 5 years, we would have had 10,000 people
Yeah, thereabout.
come out with a leaving certificate or attendance certificate. Now, we need to make sure that they're not lost in the whole scheme of things. We got to bring them in. We got to make sure that we encompass them as well, because they're going to be living in society. And coming out like that is difficult to get a job. It's hard to get a job with a degree. You can imagine otherwise, right? And some of these persons are very, very talented. But one of the problems we got is that social promotion issue in the schools. Right?
Right.
So we need to make sure that our educational system work, and for those who have missed it, that we are able to bring them in. We need to invest in education. We need to invest heavily.
What specifically? What specifically do we need to invest in when it comes to
We
education?
need training, and also
Training of
the teachers.
Okay.
And also the system that we use.
Okay.
I give an example.
Okay.
I know about the educational system to some extent. My wife is very much involved in that. And she uses the Cambridge system, right? And they change the methods almost yearly to improve it,
Okay.
right? Our systems are still based in the 1970s,
Right.
right? So the way things move increases as and that's what we need to do with this. We've had and we've she scholarships about in all the schools about 10 to 15% of the students are scholarship.
Okay.
All right? And some persons come from different sectors of society, right? Who are scholarship. They turn out to be the best students. The best students.
Yeah.
Because of the environment, the system, and the type of
I would say opportunities.
well, the opportunity, but that's the being in the environment and the system that they have.
Right.
Like
Now,
me.
that's why I always say that a good education, a first class education should not just be for the privileged few,
Right.
but for everybody.
Everybody.
That's what we want to do in the DNA.
Okay.
We want to do that throughout the system. It's a system. The systems we use, the facilities you have, and ensure that the training of the teachers are there,
gotta
and that they are
change.
compensated. Teachers
Yes.
and nurses,
Yes.
let me tell you something.
Yes.
Let me tell you, they make the world go round. Teachers and nurses. And we need to make sure that they're paid properly, that the environments are there. I know many teachers in the government system where they got to go in their own pocket.
Yes,
buy the chalk,
and I
go in
hear
their
that all
own
the time.
Pocket to buy the paper.
Which is
That's
ridiculous.
That is not right.
Okay,
Yeah.
someone
What is it?
asked if you're going to increase government expenditure to education, and also, like I said, a lot of people feel that you're being too vague. So I think could you give one?
Vague?
Yes, one specific point
I
to
think
say.
he's been specific enough.
No, I agree with a lot of people.
Let me give
Like-
you an example, right?
You
It's like
agree
this.
because you know what you got a problem with.
You
come
get off that.
Like
Get
it.
off
I know
that.
at a disadvantage, man.
Let me give you an example.
I should have had a time.
But I can give you an example right now.
Maybe you wouldn't be so rough.
I give you an example, and this an example you could use, right, Brian? Let's say you're a mechanic, right? And someone call you and say, "Hey, Brian, my car can't start." Now there are a number of things that could be wrong with that car. So you can't really specifically say over the phone, well, listen, all you have to do is this, and I can come there and I can do this. I have to actually get under the
look
hood.
at it,
I
yeah.
have to lift up the hood, see what's wrong, run some tests, and then diagnose, and then say, okay, now this is what I can specifically do to get this car to start. And a lot of people, I think, it's unfair to a degree. Now, some people are very vague, very vague, but you got to be reasonable with it, because if you are not under the hood, so to speak, in office, you cannot really get
Diagnose
too
the real
specific because you ain't actually looking at
I agree with
you know,
that.
all
I
the
feel
wiring.
in
You
Brand's
understand?
context, okay, for example, the question he answered about wealth distribution, he gave a specific example saying they're going to move the crown line, whatever, from the prime minister's office to something else. I get that. So I think when people are asking certain questions, they want you to give like a specific example like that, not just saying, oh, we're gonna we're going to fix the education system. How are you going to do that? Are you going to increase salaries by 2%?
No, he
or,
said-
you know,
you can't-
like,
he said,
no, but I'm saying, at the end of the day, no, they're not the government. So at the end of the day, they don't know what they're going to get when they really get in there. I agree. But the point is, you still have manifestos and you still have plans. You don't know what you're going to get until you get there, but you still have plans.
Okay,
And
he
people
said-
want to know.
Okay,
I'm
here's
telling you,
the
a
thing.
lot of
Here's
people
the
are
thing.
saying you're
Here's the
very
thing.
vague
Here's
right
the
now.
thing on Top's live stream, right? There's a 70
Pull it closer to
page.
you.
There's a 70 page. I wouldn't call it a manifesto, vision book,
Vision
whatever,
2017.
whatever it is, right? You can read it for yourself.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't have to wait for the politicians to spoon feed you, because in that time, that's when a lot of people get swing on these punchlines and that can materialize. Digest the information, look at what's going on and actually look at all the different candidates. What are they saying to these issues?
I agree, but I'm just
Absolutely.
saying within this context, an opportunity such as this, where he can speak directly to people, what's the point of doing the interview then?
No,
Don't do interviews then. Just tell people
he's
go to the
being
website.
specific.
I don't need to come and
No,
see
it's
you.
like
You
they
know what
want
I'm
a
saying?
forensic
Like,
Yeah.
report, and
Yeah.
you can't do
not a
that.
forensic, but I
That's
think
what it
people
says.
want to hear from
You want a 2%
you.
increase? You want him to
Even
score a
though
record
I
to
agree,
say,
people should go on the website, yes, and I do believe that Bahamians are politically lazy and want to
Yeah.
be spoon fed.
Yeah.
But what's the point of doing an interview?
Here's
No, but
What's
he,
the point?
I think he goes
What's the
because
point?
because he
I think
said
he's been specific.
yeah,
thus far.
he said
With some things, with the
he
last
said-
question,
he said training.
I felt
No.
like you were all over the place.
because
No,
with
no.
education he said training the teachers,
Retrain the teachers.
paying them adequately, revamping the
System.
curriculum in the system. I mean, these are specifics.
And
So
make sure the facilities are in order.
right.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
these are specifics. You know what I mean? But I want to touch on another aspect when it comes to education, because we tend to focus on in the schools, but what we don't look at oftentimes is the environments that these students are coming from.
Yes,
A
yes,
lot of
yes,
these
yes,
students are
that's a
coming
problem.
from hell, basically,
right. And
where they're
this-
being abused. They don't have food to eat in the morning.
Yeah.
They don't have the clothes to go to school. Their parents are fighting. If they have both parents, the mother is abusing them, beating on them. So a lot of them are coming from hellish situations,
Yes.
and we are expecting them to perform at a high level in schools.
And they cannot.
So we while we do have to address those things that you mentioned when it comes to the school system, what are your plans for addressing our social ills?
We have
the
to-
family structure,
And let me
the
t-
environment that these students are coming from.
And let me tell you, you are absolutely right in the sense of the social aspect of it, because you could have persons. And I gave you an example about persons coming from different environments and excelling. You know, and we've seen it over and repeatedly, even to the extent where there's abuse, incest, and that sort of. And when it's reported, nothing happens.
Yes, yes.
So we need to get strict on our laws dealing with that type of thing: abuse, neglect by parents, and incest. And there are laws that make parents responsible for their children in certain aspects that we need to enforce and amend so that it is more strict in ensuring that the parents do what they were supposed to.
Well,
We're not going to cover every aspect. I mean, we're not going to cover all situations, but we need to put things in place. For instance, I'll give an example. My youngest daughter has started a foundation called Find You. You know where the old Stardust building used to be on Blue Hill Road?
Yeah.
It's going to be in there. And in that area, she's going to attract young persons where in that facility they're going to have teachers, they're going to have different activities, persons dealing with women issues and that sort of thing. Things like that ought to be set up throughout the
I
different
agree.
communities.
Yeah.
And this is what we would want to do. Now, this was a brainchild of my 14-year-old daughter.
Wow.
Called Find You. But we have to go to the communities. We have to get into the communities, and we need to then do things to build. At the same time, we need to ensure that the law enforcement is there, so that where the father is beating the mother,
Yes.
or that sort of thing, he's dealt with, right? Where the father is not taking care of the children, he's dealt with by way of a Deadbeat Dads Act that we want to put in place.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Oh, tell me
That's
about
going to be a big one.
Let's hear about this now.
There's plenty of them.
But that means we could have a lot of we have a lot of men, unfortunately, around that believe that they're man by how many children they got. But when the children need to go to school, need to go to a doctor, need to put food on the table, put clothes on them, or have shelter, they're nowhere to be found. If you have a child, you're going to have the responsibility of taking care of that child. The state is not responsible to take care of your child.
Right.
Right? Some
Right.
other person is not responsible to take care of your child. And so we are going to have something called a Deadbeat Dads Act, which, if it's shown that you are the father of this child and you fail to take care of them and you don't, you will be penalized. You will be penalized. Now, they talk about it now where you pay $50
That's
or
not enough
something.
to take care of a child.
$50.
Yeah.
That ain't enough to take care of pet.
Right.
Honestly.
Child.
You pay $50 for a child a week. Now, please, I can't buy Bahamas, right?
No.
Jamaica can't buy Bahamas. You know, you can't buy Bahamas.
Yeah.
That ain't right.
No.
I have a question.
So if you're gonna do it,
Right.
if you're gonna do the thing
Yeah.
and get woman pregnant,
Yeah.
can
You better
take
be
care.
ready for it.
You
A
take
lot
care
of
it.
people
Yeah.
are loving that very specific example you gave. What's the website so that people can
The
read,
website-
you know, or
The
the app?
website is mydnaparty.org.
.org.
And we have an app. It's free of charge. We've had it for 3 years now. It's called My DNA Party. You could download that.
So everything is my DNA. Because someone on the feed
Android
did
or
admit
Apple?
that they are very lazy and they don't want to read. But we're not going to encourage that. You
But I
have to
see-
go and read the party's manifesto.
And then you can
And there's
watch-
videos
you can watch-
too.
you can watch
There's
videos,
videos
you can
explaining
see,
their
you can see
plans.
all of dealing with our issues from crime to the dump to we had something out, a blueprint on the
You can show this to the screen. If they
Yeah.
can see it.
Oh.
we had a blueprint on reforming the public service. You know, we have something in the public service now where so many people are disenfranchised. The public service, in our view, and we put out a blue paper, we call it. And
Blue
it didn't-
paper.
Yeah, it didn't get any type of play in the papers. We
Right.
had the press here. And one time I saw something. If they had the cartoons section again, it would have
Yeah.
been behind the cartoon section. But the problem is, right? So
okay.
we never,
What did he
we hardly ever got anything from the media, right? Because and when asked about it, they
See,
said,
I'll
well,
watch the
you don't
video.
have a seat in Parliament.
Oh, really?
That's right. They said, you don't have a seat in Parliament. And that's one of the reasons why certain things were done a couple of months ago, and then had to pull back. But we didn't have a political platform. That's
okay.
what they said.
Well, that's nonsense.
And so many things were not put out there. But if you go there, social media is the way.
And that's what
I
you
don't
need to
understand why
utilize.
social media is
Well, he told y'all.
social media is the
Download
way.
the app.
Now, Brian, I see a lot of people comment saying we need debates. Now, my position on it, right? I don't think we do. Here's why. Debates
Sorry.
are nothing.
Debates.
Yeah, debates are nothing but competition, right? And I think the main problem we have in this country is competition in politics. Politics is not supposed to be a competition. Basketball is competition, soccer is competition, baseball, all these stuff. Sports is competition. Politics is supposed to be us coming together to move the country forward, right? All competition does is divide people. And I think, again, when I think Tap referred to looking like the other politicians, is I think whenever you decide to engage in the competitive talk, and to be specific, one of the things that I wasn't a fan of, it was a while back, but it was when, right before the 2012 general election, where you said, if I don't win my seat, I can resign as leader.
Never
You
said
know.
that.
You didn't say it?
Never said that.
You sure? I know I heard it.
Let him hear.
Well, I got, now hold on now.
Never said that.
Don't say that and then let me go pull the file and find it.
Pull the file. Pull the
All
file.
right,
We
Never said
can,
it.
we can Google
Okay.
it right
What
now.
I said. No, you had people saying all sorts of things.
Okay.
I said, if I were to lose my seat and say Chris Mortimer won his seat, I would step down.
As the
Be-
leader of the
as the
party.
leader of the party. Because
Okay.
the person who won the seat, obviously,
Have the representative
Right.
party.
represent
Okay.
the party.
Okay, so
I said, I never
that's a
said,
good-
Okay.
That's
I
a
never
good
said
question.
I would step down if I lose. I said I would step down if I lost and Chris, and I think I used the example of Chris. If Chris won and I lost, I would step down. He would be the leader.
makes sense.
And my-
or the party would make the decision, but I would not
Right.
put myself as the leader.
And my thing is, we gotta. I try to encourage people to stop using these competitive terms, win, lose, because you're not winning or losing. What it is the people are selecting someone to represent them. If that's who they pick, that's who they pick. To me, that's not a loss. These people just decided, well, this is the person that we want to represent us. And I think this is where we get into problems, is where we start to put this competition. And I hear people saying, oh, I got beat the pants off of this one, or
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
get
it
beat
gets-
bad.
it gets
And what
messy.
happens is, and you know why they did that? Whoever did it is genius. I hate it, but it's genius. It's because what you do is you cause people to be loyal just
Yeah.
because that's their team.
Yeah.
So exactly. So they're gonna ride for their team
No matter what.
no matter what. And
It's a
they will
psyche.
ignore exactly. And
It's
this
a
is why
psyche.
I hate it. And this is why I would encourage you or any new parties coming up to refrain from that.
Well,
from that competitive
Yeah, I don't
nonsense.
I don't talk about beating my competitors and that sort of stuff. I tell my the constituents, I say, you have a choice. These are the choices here, and you make your determination. I don't talk about beating. You're right.
Right.
I mean, people make a choice,
Right.
and we have to respect their choice. No problem there. I do disagree with you with the debates. I
didn't even finish. Hold on, let me finish. Okay,
I love
here's why.
debate.
Yeah.
Here's why.
Yeah.
The debate,
Yeah.
unfortunately, is for you to win. Right? You go into a debate wanting to win. What I would prefer, now if we have debates, I ain't saying that I'm against it. If we move to that, that's progress, just like decriminalization.
Right.
Like I said, I'm for full legalization, but decriminalization is a step.
step, yeah.
So a debate would be a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying, oh, don't do debates, but I would rather have, if we can have the candidates sit together and have a discussion
On
and
issues.
we
Okay.
have a discussion on issues, we put our ideas forward, right? Okay, this is what I feel on this issue, this is what I feel on this issue,
This is
and
my
we come
question.
together
Yeah.
and we pick the best ideas, the best positions, as opposed to, because in a debate, my goal is to beat you. I want to make it look like I know what I'm talking about more than you do. So you could have a better idea, and in my head, all I'm trying to do is, how can I discredit this person or make their point less valid than mine? Even though I know deep down, in practice, your idea better, I have to
I
make
think-
your idea worse than mine.
I think it's how you frame it, and I think it depends again on the Bahamian people. Because my thing is, I was very excited about the idea of the three leaders debating, but I think it comes down to the people. If the people just want to see a freaking entertainment and smoke and mirrors, that's what they're going to receive. I think real people who actually care about the Bahamas and care about the issues would watch the debate and decide for themselves which candidate is giving the most factual information or actually really giving a plan and not just flamming people. Because it's the same thing like you can discern like at the rallies. When you watch the speeches they give at the rallies, you discern and you decide. A lot of these people who speak at the rallies, they're not saying anything.
Yeah. Of course not.
But the people are still cheering and whatever, and that is on the people. My thing is, leaders wouldn't do it if they didn't know they couldn't get away with it. But they know that they can get away with it, and they know that's what Bahamians feed off of. So I feel like if they did a debate, it would be dependent on what the people decide to take away
And I think
from
they still
that.
should do the debate. I think they should
think
do
so.
it and extend the invitation. Who doesn't
But
come,
ministers
they
didn't want to do
don't
it. I
come.
feel like they should have still done it.
It don't
That's
matter
how
if
I
you
feel.
want to come or not, because if an institution like the UOB or Guardian or the Tribune decides to have a debate, they publicize it and they invite Branville McCartney and Perry Christian to
Chrissy.
show up, and minister to show up with a card, seat, fake it.
Yeah.
This is what's
Yeah,
supposed to
yeah.
be. You carry on,
Yeah.
and it'll show the Bahamian people what these people think of them.
Yeah.
Well,
Now, your
I
position,
don't
Brad.
think it's a competition.
Okay.
I don't look at it as competition. I look at it as exchanging ideas and policies. For instance, you have a moderator, and the moderator will say, okay, what's your position on crime?
Yeah.
Right? I say, okay, this is my position on crime, or the economy, or the dump, or whatever. And we outline it. Not that my position is better than your position, because blah, blah. No,
yeah.
my position, or the DNA's position on crime is blah, 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 blah. The PLP's position on the dump is we can't fix it. The PLP...
Somebody lighting the fire.
Every position on the dump, they had the money, they lose it, they can't fix it.
The shade.
And I see, and a lot of people are being disingenuous in the comments, right? They're saying debates are not to win, right? The United States has debates, right?
Yeah.
What's the talk after the debates?
Who won the debate?
That's the talk.
But it does have to spin for the media.
Yeah,
But this is what I'm saying, because this is how a lot of times it's set up in that way. You know what I
think when they
mean?
talk
But
about
I
who
agree
won
with
the
what Brad
debate,
just said.
It's who
Who
won
are the best
debate
positions?
based on the positions,
Right.
on
Yes.
the policies.
Right.
You
They're
know?
talking.
Yeah, not who yelled or shuffled or...
But then again,
I'll
it should be that. I think it should be, but I've actually seen, like, in the recent presidential, like, they gave... Now, we all know Donald Trump ain't had no position on nothing. But they had him winning debates.
You know,
know
was
what?
so presidential tonight.
Because he
Bro,
dominated. You know what I mean? And it was like, what
followed
is
her
this?
around a
He may not have the best policies, but he said what the people wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Build that wall.
Nonsense. Right?
Arrest Hillary.
It's going to be huge.
Yes. Nonsense.
Okay? I'm going to deport everybody. Blah, blah, blah. Let me just say this. You see all these rallies, right? Listen to what they're saying. They're attacking each other. They're
Yes.
talking about each other.
Yes.
They're not talking about how we're going to move this country forward.
No.
Let me tell you what we're going to do the last night before the election. We're going to have on NB12, starting from 8 to 10, a forum of candidates live, where we will be speaking to the issues.
should be nice.
Awesome.
It ain't going to be a rally. because we got bumped off of R. Bailey Park. I just thought I'll just put that in there.
Right.
You know, like they've been
Keep it
bumped.
real. Keep
To
it
be
real.
honest, I don't think you should be having rallies anyhow.
Yeah. So we are going to have a group of our candidates.
Uh-huh.
Have a, and
There's going to be an
moderate-
open.
It's open.
Anyone
everybody
can come.
It's going to be held at Breezes from 8 to 10. Election Eve.
Will there be a
And
bar?
it's going to be.
No, right?
No.
Okay.
Come on.
I'm helping you. There should not be a bar because
But bars are there.
in the hotel, not
Yeah.
not your event.
Not my
no,
event,
this is
yeah.
serious talk.
I think they may have something set up.
It's
for
not a
outside.
rally.
No, it's not a
No.
rally.
Right.
But it's for persons to come in. It's for persons to come in and to we're gonna have a moderator and we'll have people speaking to the issues of today: crime, the economy, corruption, that sort of thing, on how we're gonna move our country
And
forward.
they
for
can
the people-
possibly meet their MPs too. I mean, the candidates.
For the people that don't quote unquote know about the DNA, that's the perfect forum for
that's
them.
a good-
He said night before
And that's
election.
a, and that's,
night.
and that's a
Tuesday.
great
Tuesday.
that's a great idea.
Breezes.
And listen, I'll be there.
Breezes.
But that's a great idea, and I always would say I don't think you should do rallies because it's like if you had to play Shaq, right? You can play Shaq in the paint,
No.
or you can
In
take
the
him out
paint?
on the
What
perimeter
are
and
we
use
talking
your
about?
strength. You
got the
understand?
basketball.
So you
Yeah,
should.
Oh,
So you
that
should.
one went over
You
my
ain't. You
head.
ain't. You ain't gonna beat. You ain't gonna beat the PLB and the FNM.
I play tennis. I don't listen. I watch you play tennis. I don't do no. When you
Oh
talk
my
about
god, I
Yeah,
can't.
no, in the paint, man.
Yeah, it was like.
No, man, in the paint. But yeah, you ain't gonna beat. I consider the PLP and the FNM shock when it comes to rallies.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna beat
They
them
can
when it
put on
comes
a
to
show.
crowd.
They can put on a
They
show.
can get the people and get them drunk. They can bust everybody and they got crowds.
Yeah.
And people can use it against you because your crowd's smaller. So what you
Yeah.
need to do is take him out. Take them out of their element, and
that's what it
you
is.
play to your strengths.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just my
Yeah,
position
I
on,
agree.
on
That's-
rally.
that's
And that's
what
why I love that idea.
That's what we're doing as well.
Right.
And the night before,
Just say.
there's going to be a is it a prayer? A prayer, because no matter what we do in this, no matter who we are, the bottom line is we need to look to Christ for guidance.
Hold on, now we can
And-
disagree. We can disagree on that one.
You guys
Now,
consider us
No,
we can disagree on that one now.
no. I am telling
Come
you.
on, Greg.
This is not the
We can
forum
disagree
for
on that
this.
one now. No, I ain't gonna let you get with that one. We can disagree on that one. Now,
Right.
here's the thing. No,
Yeah.
no,
Go ahead,
no.
go ahead, go
I
ahead,
can
go
give it no, because I respect his
Yeah,
position.
yeah.
That's your position.
Yeah, yeah.
However, you
Yeah.
do realize that not everyone in this
There are
country
persons.
shares
I
that position.
I agree.
And you
But
respect
you know,
their opinions.
I respect
So-
them. I respect their position as well, right? But this is my position.
Yeah, and that's fine.
And you know, I think, and I look, I'm not mashing or beating anybody, but we can't do this thing on our own accord. There has to be a higher being, and well, for me.
Yeah, for you.
For me,
because I disagree, but yeah, for you.
But look at that vehemence. People respectfully
But this is what it should be.
Even though they have differences.
Yeah, this is
Maybe
what it
it's
should
not
be.
challenge
I
doing
certainly
that.
don't-
Because I think Jay and I did a show, one of these episodes a while back, and it was I think prayer versus preparation.
Yes.
And I think
both.
too often,
I also
People-
feel
too
that way.
often
both.
people just want to rely on prayer.
You
They want
can't
to
rely
pray.
on prayer.
Oh, we gotta pray. We gotta
Finally
pray. Amen. Jesus. This
Listen.
and that. Listen.
Listen, that don't work. Prayer without works.
Thank you.
Faith
So
versus
and
that.
my
Prayer
thing
without
is,
works.
yeah.
You gotta pray, but you gotta work.
Well,
But I'll
Gotta
pray.
get down to the
I'll
trenches.
pray.
I say you just
And-
work,
and you
but
gotta-
then if you want to pray, that's fine. That's
Yeah,
on
yeah,
you.
yeah.
You know
Well,
what I mean? You
I
can pray.
pray that you can answer this next question I have. Someone asked it earlier, and I wanted to tie into what you said about when Greg asked, the whole statement where you said, if you hadn't won your seat, you would have stepped down from the leadership. Now, this is several questions. One, someone asked on the Facebook Live, hypothetically, if the DNA doesn't win any seats, what's the way forward for you guys? And then what I wanted to know, there's this whole rhetoric that's a vote for the DNA is a vote for the PLP.
Yeah.
And honestly, if I'm going to be honest, I feel like if you do choose to vote, you should vote strategically just because the way our system is set up. I would love for people to be able to vote their conscience and vote for who they really want. But I guess the question is, do you guys realistically think you would be the next government? What's the end goal? To get a certain amount of people in Parliament to have influence, if you say, okay, we want at least 5, candidates to be MPs, but like realistically, we know that these other parties have a great following, and that perhaps it's going to be a long time before the DNA will be, where people elect y'all as a party. So I want to know, people who may be kind of weighing with that rhetoric that's been put out there that a vote for the DNA is a vote for the PLP because it's just not enough of y'all. Like, what would you say? What would you say to that?
We want to change in this country, and if we decide to vote otherwise, we remain the same. We have to start somewhere in ensuring that we move our country forward. We are in this to win this. We're not in this to come second or third. I don't tell my children to get into a race or to do an exam just to get a C or to come second. We are in this to win this. We're in this to become the government, and that is what we're offering the Bahamian people. We're exercising our democratic right. I heard the former Prime Minister said the other night, he said a vote for the DNA is you might as well put your vote in the trash can. Shame on him.
Yeah.
Shame on him.
I hate when people say that.
Let me tell you something.
Didn't he run as an independent
our forefathers fought for what we're doing. You forget that the AFNA wasn't around before and came out of the PLP. You remember that?
Yes.
It was the UBP that said if you voted for the PLP, you'll eat grass. You have to start somewhere.
Yes.
That's true.
And this is the same man who, in 2012, the persons in North Abaco voted for him. And when he lost the government, he wanted to see, but lost his government, he told the people in North Abaco, bye-bye.
Yeah.
I don't want you.
Yeah.
Now, which one was a wasted vote? That was a wasted vote. That was a wasted vote because they voted for him, and a couple of hours later, he said, I don't want your vote no more. Bye-bye, I'm out of here. Couldn't take it. Couldn't take the heat.
But I wouldn't say
couldn't take the heat.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a wasted vote, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
People overwhelmingly supported him.
him.
He didn't represent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I get it, but that wasn't.
Now, for you to come and say it's a wasted vote, that we start a party, that we want to do things differently. Look here, man. This is the same man who said Perry Christie a couple of weeks ago was the best thing to run this country. You forget that?
No, I forget.
He said that.
Yeah, but you know what it is. It's just what
they want to keep it within themselves. Exactly. Right? Remember, I said this before. They want to keep it within themselves. They want to keep the money among themselves. They want to keep the power among themselves. They always say,
if I don't get it,
you get it.
Yes.
Tommy Turnquest and even Minister said the other day, this being the AFNM and the PLP. Well, they want it that way. And if the payment people believe that's the best thing since sliced bread, the PLP or the AFNM, or they're the only ones who run the country, well, unfortunately, we end up where we are.
Yeah.
We end up where we are. They thought about that last time. They thought that the PLP would do better. Look where we are. Right? And now you think
go right back. Go right back.
Man, what you thinking?
And this is why I say I explain.
Let me just put this part in. If you run a company and your manager cause you to lose money, cause people to come in your business and steal, right? And you fire him, and you hire somebody new. That new person who you hired did the same thing, but did it probably even worse.
Right.
Are you going back to that first person you fired, or are you going to look for someone new?
That is the height of stupidity if you do. It is the height of stupidity.
Well, on the 10th of May, the 10th of May,
and this is why
people got the choice as to whether or not they go back.
Well,
who they fired.
And you know what the sad part is, and just having conversations with people and being in certain areas, it seems as though that they would rather go back to the old abusive lover over this abusive lover. It's like a relationship and you bouncing between two abusive lovers because we've become comfortable with what we know.
Yeah.
Mediocrity. Yeah, and they'll choose something that's familiar over something that they're not sure about, even if they know that familiar thing isn't good for them. And this is what I see we've been doing back and forth. And this is why I said prior to in the pre-show, right? To be honest, I don't think people are going to drastically change things right now because I don't think our society is at that point yet. I think they're still comfortable enough with these abusive parties to where they're not willing to step out on the ledge for something new, which is sad.
Right.
I wish it was different. Because
the climate is right for it.
I agree. To me, it's right, but to some people, it isn't, and they are comfortable with the abuse that they're receiving. If I could pick this other person to abuse me, I'm comfortable with the abuse from them as opposed to this person that I don't know about. And this is a sad state. I just don't think that we are there yet.
Yeah.
And I think in order to get to a point to where we get there, we have to work on our social issues. We have to work on our mentality. And the social issues are at the core of what's wrong with us. It's not politics, you know. Now, we have a lot of wrong things in politics, but it starts from the root.
Well, that's unfortunate, and I don't disagree, and you know, in many instances, you're right. But you know, if we don't take that step, like
I agree. Hey,
other
you got
persons
to.
around the world,
This is why you're successful.
We've done.
You have to take a step.
You got to take a step.
You got to.
People told me I would never be a lawyer. People told me some businesses I'm in, I could never get it started.
Yeah.
You know. You know, the bottom line is, we as a people decide to just accept mediocrity. You gave the example of the abuse situation. If you want to go back to the abusive lover, the person who beats you up and say, okay, I love you now. Speaking of which, here, Papa say he love you and he'll always love you. Well, you didn't listen to the people when you're building those roads and cause all sorts of people lose their businesses. And didn't love them enough to listen to them. You didn't love them enough when you sold BTC. And the people said not to sell it for $214 million, and a couple years later turned around and people sold it for $2 billion.
Yes.
You didn't love them enough for that, right? So, you know, the bottom line
And
is,
people already forget these things.
people-
Quick as that.
people forget.
Quick as that.
You know,
Because
so-
it's like a
so-
relationship. When
Yeah.
let's say you don't want to be lonely, so you remember those good times. And this is what I think they starting to do now when it comes to the F&M. They reminiscing on whatever good times they could remember. They holding on to those good things and forgetting all those things that you just mentioned, all those terrible things. And unfortunately, this is where we are. But speaking of beating, I want to get to an issue that I'm passionate about, and I want to get your position on it, right?
Wait, he didn't answer the last part of my question, and
What's that?
they asked it like 3 times.
What's that?
Hypothetically speaking, if the DNA don't win no seats, what's your plan? What y'all could do?
Well, we got to
Someone asked it like 3 times.
DNA must continue. We don't stop.
Continue doing what?
Continue moving forward. Continue pushing forward to see what is good for this country. We don't stop.
The F&M didn't stop. The
We don't
PLB didn't stop.
But Dan in here, I asking him because he's
No, I'm
DNA.
just-
They
I'm just-
ain't
I'm
in
just- no,
here.
I'm just
Which
giving
is
you
bad.
an analogy. Why should he
Why
stop?
should we stop?
No, I don't know. Maybe
That-
people
why should we
because they're the
stop?
new, new kid on the block.
What the
I don't know.
DNA has done, the F&M didn't even do. What the DNA has done is historic. And we continue to make history over and over again. So we will continue. We continue to fight for what is good for the country.
Yeah.
If there's a new government, we'll support the government and all its good initiatives. And where the government falls down, we will keep their feet to the fire. That's
all you can do. That's all you can
I mean,
do.
if the people
Yeah.
reject us, that's all we can do.
That's all you can do.
But we don't.
You-
The party don't give up. The party don't. The party is grown tremendously.
You don't look like you take rejection well. Getting that
jeez.
vibe from you.
But
I
let's
take
go.
rejection. I've taken rejection all over.
jeez.
Listen, I
But the abuse is modest.
Yeah.
Listen, from that beating in 2012, I got
Yeah.
a great defeat.
After
And-
all
and
that
still
good you
go
do.
back.
But let's talk about
Come on,
abuse. Let's talk about abuse. Now, we just, and this is a segue from what we were just talking about as to why I think we are in this point. And I think we're in a position where we have Stockholm Syndrome. We fall in love with our abusers, right? And I think, you know where it starts? And a lot of people don't like it. And I got a lot of flack when I done talk shows in the past about it, right? Because of my position. I am completely against corporal punishment, beating children, right? Completely against it. It's barbaric. It makes absolutely no sense. It's bullying. You are inflicting pain, violence, abuse on a child because you can't find a way to get them to do what you want them to do, right? And this is where I think it starts. Because if the parents, the persons who you're supposed to love the most, could beat you, hit on you, abuse you, talk to you bad, and you must still love them and be loyal to them, it then transcends into what you see with these political parties
Well, I think
and throughout society, and it contributes.
Let Greg go.
It contributes
Let him go.
contributes to the violence that we encounter because we've been taught when you don't get your way, you don't get what you want, you resort to violence.
Well, what's the Carfax on it? Because my thing is that's what we have to put it down to. What are the studies on in the Bahamas? Because at the end of the day, you have persons like me. I was spanked as a child, and I can argue. Let me finish. I can argue. I turned out well. I'm not a violent person. Never been in a fight. I don't advocate violence, and obviously, I have more of an open mind to the political landscape and as linking to the Stockholm syndrome. You can also argue that your child. You don't mean your child, right? I'm assuming, obviously, and also she is. Turns out to be a productive citizen, or she could turn out to be horrible. She could turn out to be very violent. So my thing is, we always talk about these issues from some anecdotal point of view, and if there's not evidence to support that a beaten or whatever leads to violent behavior, or not beaten leads to better people, then to me it's just we going off of our feelings and our experiences.
You want the evidence?
Yeah, I would love to read some research and stuff. No, I want.
And here's the thing.
Let
me address your first example and why I hate that example. You are justifying. Hold on. No. Listen. You are justifying the horrid act by the end result, right? So, by you saying, "Well, hey, I get beat. I turn out fine." Well, I know plenty of people that were molested.
I'm only justifying that because you linked corporal punishment to violence in a society, and you cannot link that if you don't have empirical evidence.
You let me finish?
Yeah.
Hold on.
No, that was my point.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why I hate that example. It's a bad example. I know people that have been raped, quite fine, functioning citizens. Actually, many. You'd be surprised how much women have been raped, and they are excelling. Does that mean that the rape is okay?
No, I agree.
Okay, so you don't justify a bad. Let me tell you something. If I hit you, is that okay?
Oh, you? Like
yes.
right now?
Yes.
Oh, no.
So why is it okay to hit a child? You don't justify the bad act because the person turned out okay.
Well,
because then I could make the same argument. Well, hey, molestation. Why we can punish for that man? Because this person was molested, and there's the biggest lawyer in the firm.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying from you linking it to society, I think
because
in the Bahamas...
It's common sense. But
I don't believe in that. I think we don't link... We need more evidence and studies in the Bahamas. That's what I think.
I sure you can't stand up and slap Bran right now, and if you slap Bran, he ain't gonna have it's fine type of reaction. You understand? He want to defend himself.
No, I can run. Because she walked up and slapped me. Well, I ain't messing with this woman. I out here. Hey, go on. Hey.
Smart. Very smart.
Let's not talk about slapping politicians.
But it's not going to be a good reaction, is my point. It's not going to be a good reaction. So what's your position? What's your position on that?
Let me just say...
oh, Lord, the comments coming in now, Greg.
They can come. Listen, I've been doing this for a long time.
I believe.
The comments don't mean nothing to me. I don't care what the people think. I just know common sense. You understand? You can disagree. That's your business. Right. I don't care.
And that's the good thing about it. We could all disagree respectfully. I believe in discipline. I'll give an most recent example with my son.
Okay.
My son, I told you, was expelled from my wife's school, right? And I don't like beating or spiking or discipline, you know, in the sense of spiking and that sort of thing. I don't like that at all. And I rarely do that. But when my son got into a fight with another child, I sat him down in his room. I came home. I was in Bamboo Town campaigning.
So you had to stop.
I left there. I came there. I wasn't mad at anything. And I said, Kale, tell me what happened.
You named him after a vegetable?
No, Khail.
Oh.
Which means... no, not Kale.
Oh, okay, Beyonce and Jay-Z, Kale.
Which means a gift from God.
Okay.
He's adopted.
Okay.
He's adopted. So... I said, do you know what's wrong? What you did was wrong. He said, I said, explain. I said, do you know what's going to happen? I said, yes, Daddy, you're going to have to discipline me now. And that hurt me probably more than it hurt him. But I had to do it. You know what? This young man, I mean, ever since he was disciplined, and of course he's going to a different school and everything now, but man, he's been on his P's and Q's and so on and so forth. When I was growing up as a young boy, I was a bad little boy. My father disciplined me. I used to get spanking. And I'm thankful for it. Because honestly, if my father didn't do it, I probably would have been in jail. I probably would have been dead. Growing up during that time, man, all sorts of things was going on. and he had a firm hand on me. When I say that, he was disciplined. And if he were not disciplined with me, I know. Because you
Can I be the mediator between the two worlds right
See,
now?
but I just want to address something.
He couldn't just talk
There's
to
a
me.
difference between the discipline that he received and you give to your son than what goes on in a lot of
But
people's
there's-
houses. There's a
Yes,
lot of
yes.
violence.
No, 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 no. I'm not talking about
I don't.
violence.
No, but
No,
I don't. You shouldn't hit it all.
And anger.
And the thing is, you shouldn't hit
I
it
don't
all.
believe in that.
You mean like spanking?
You shouldn't hit it
like,
all.
I was
spanking
crying.
like
What if
I
that?
was crying when I was.
Should I spank you?
No, because I'm an adult.
exactly.
And I have sense.
And here's-
children need to be directed. Children aren't inherently well behaved, and you know that.
Hold on.
They're
What is?
not.
Hold on.
No,
Hold
no,
on.
no,
They're
Hold on.
not.
Hold on.
They're
Hold
not.
on.
They
Hold
need
on.
to be. They need to be
What is-
guided
what is
and
well-behaved?
disciplined. Well behaved to know the difference
You
between
know-
right and wrong.
you know
if
some
if you
people-
come and you meet your
That is-
child
that's relative.
to take all the clothes out of the closet,
That's
I'm
relative.
saying if you give them a spank, they'll
that's-
kind of connect that this is you get a negative reaction
Okay.
for doing something negative. That's all
My
I'm
thing
saying.
is-
It's not the same as abuse to me.
They are.
like-
Well, that's how people,
Yeah, I know.
accept that nonsense, right? Here's the thing. There are many ways you can, and this is what I don't like, is what Bahamians like to do is they like to use discipline and spanking as though it's the same thing. They're not. Discipline is teaching. You understand? There are many ways you can discipline. Discipline doesn't mean that you have to necessarily hit somebody in order to teach. Because if you hit somebody, what you teaching them? If somebody shouted at me or hit me, I ain't trying to hear what you saying. I'm mad. I upset.
That's
I
you.
I know.
Most
I know.
human
I tell
beings
my
I
son-
know.
Yeah, my son was saying, if I don't behave, if I do something wrong, my daddy will spank me.
But there are other things you can do.
Oh, but some of these things are what?
Some don't work.
You can
Okay.
stand in the corner. You can not read. You could not watch TV. You can tell them, sit there. Wait,
I think. Well, I'm gonna say this, Greg.
Yeah, but my thing is,
little boys,
but watch
they're
this,
playing
but
them.
watch this, Brian. We are, and that's what I don't understand. We are so committed and dedicated to beating because they say, well, the other things don't work. Well, I can tell you one thing. Beating don't work. The way people describe it, it don't work. I could guarantee I told more than all y'all.
Probably.
No.
I didn't get beaten a lot.
Trust me.
Because I was a good girl.
But boy,
No.
trust me.
I had my
Let me
fair
give
share.
you, let me give you, Brian, let me
My
give
used
you.
to beat me.
Y'all was
And
bad
then after my
boys.
mommy finished beating me, say, now you wait till your daddy get home. And that time I pardoned up, boy. I pardoned up. My daddy caught on to that. I pardoned up, man. Go long sleeve.
Double
I mean, in the mid of summer.
Yeah.
Man, I hot right up. I smelling bad. Wait for daddy to come home. I say, get ready. When he come home, he come in, look at my room.
Yeah.
He said, nothing. I
Yeah.
said, he gone.
Uh-huh.
Take off my clothes. When I take them off, he come in. All right, let me deal with you.
Well,
That was it.
That's
Showtime.
I couldn't even part up. Let me tell you all, my parents was terrorists. Let me tell you why.
They're not listening to the show, are they?
My old lady, but they can be listening, they know. Even though they try to deny, they try to deny when they get, well, no, you lying, stop that. My old lady take my brother, he must eat, she was baking something, he must go and eat it. She take this boy hand on the counter, get the rolling pin, and whop up this boy fingers.
See, that's abuse to me. That's abuse.
Another thing,
That's
let me
abuse.
tell you, and it says,
That's different.
why, she's psycho with it. Let me tell you what she do another time.
abuse. That's
Let me tell you what she
scary.
do another time. My old man break the brum off of her back.
Oh, no.
Let me tell you what else she do, right?
That's different, though.
My cousin was by us. I tell you, I told more than y'all joking, y'all got joking. I get abused.
That's
But that's the
abuse.
thing, right? She'll
And
tell.
that's the line
That's
what a
different.
lot of
That's a
kids
lot of
deal
people.
with because
She'll tell.
they don't know and they call it discipline.
No, but I will
They
also
mock
say to
the
Greg's point,
discipline.
I do feel like how you say you used to get a lot of beating and it didn't work for you. My thing is, I also think we need to look at other ways of discipline. I agree. I don't think every child needs
Okay.
to be spanked. Timeout works for some people. Explaining to people what they did wrong. But I honestly, personally don't think like getting a tap on the hand turns you into a violent person or it's abuse. Now,
Yeah, but
what
that's-
happened to your brother? That was
Yeah,
abuse.
yeah, but anyhow, that's a
Yeah.
topic. That's
But
a whole
another-
topic.
another
That's a whole
day.
topic
Yeah,
for another
and I
discussion.
totally
Oops, sorry.
understand why you feel that way. When I was disciplining my son, I told him, I explained to him what it was all about. It doesn't happen often, and that's probably one of the reasons why he got expelled because he was a little bad, right? But it doesn't happen often, and I explained to him. But I was quietly crying myself.
Yeah.
But, and
Yeah.
But you had to do. We've given this. We put this boy in detention. We put him on timeout. We've taken privileges away from him. They ain't hearing that. This boy has been on such good behavior the last 2 weeks. You look at him. Yes, Daddy. Daddy, how's your day? Daddy,
Yeah.
you campaign? Huh? Daddy,
Yeah.
you going to beat the PLP in the F&M?
Scale up the personality for that.
Oh man, yeah, but we can see how long that good behavior lasts. But let's go to one more. It was one thing I wanted to touch upon. I wish we could have spent more time on it, but I know you got to run. But it was the gender equality referendum.
Oh,
Yeah.
praise you, Greg.
And
praise you.
I really disagreed that. Well, tell me why you voted no in that.
You voted no?
Referendum. Tell me why quickly.
Don't pay attention to
Because I disagree with the position, but tell us why.
Last bill.
He voted
The
no?
last bill would have opened up the floodgates to same-sex marriages.
What's wrong with that?
I'm against same-sex marriages.
But you married to a woman, right?
Yeah.
So how does same-sex marriage affect you or anybody that's against it?
No. Look. It does to make it legal. This is where we probably differ because I say I believe in the Almighty.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if you have that same belief.
No.
Or what, but
No, I don't.
Okay, so that's the difference there. I believe that marriage should be between a man and a woman.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
However, it's not me to judge anybody. It's not me to say if you believe in same-sex marriages, that's up to you. I don't look down. I can't judge anybody.
But that's why I'm confused with the position. Because if that's your position, then I don't see why you would.
Legal.
But why?
I don't even make it
But
illegal.
if they are citizens like you, right? Let's say, okay, let's look at it this way: you running in Bamboo Town. Do gay people in Bamboo Town not deserve the same legal rights as the non-gays in Bamboo Town?
Legal rights, yeah.
That's one of the legal rights.
No.
But
it's
can
not
you
legal
pass
right.
a law? Hold on.
It's not legal right.
Because-
it's not
because
legal right.
Currently, the straight people in Bamboo Town can get married and the gay people can't.
Yeah.
So that's discrimination against that
I
community.
think if you look at it, fine. But you ask my belief. My belief is marriage should be between a man and a woman. If persons want to have same-sex marriages, that's up to them. But for me, I don't think that's right. I believe otherwise. That's my belief. You can't persuade me otherwise.
Oh, no, I don't want to persuade you, but
My belief is marriage is supposed to be between man and woman. If you decide to if you're a man, you like a man, that's your business. You're a woman, you want to deal with a woman, that's your business.
What about
I don't get
common
that.
law homosexual relationships?
I mean, that's your business.
Okay.
I have gay friends, man. I mean, we all do.
That's kind of,
Yeah,
but it's kind of
I don't-
contradictory to say that's your business and then be like,
No,
but you
That's my
can't.
point.
It's kind
That's my point.
No, when
That's
you
my
want
point.
when you want to make it a law, it's a different thing.
But no, but that's my
Right.
point.
Because then you infringe on
But it's
someone
still-
else's
it's still-
right.
even if it's-
Because
no, how
if
do you infringe on
all
someone
right,
else's
If you
right?
make it law, if you make it law,
How do you infringe on
right?
someone
If you
else's
make it
right?
law to have
Yeah.
same-sex marriages, right? That means under the law, no church that has a fundamental belief against that will have to perform that ceremony, and that's wrong. When you pass a law to infringe on someone else's right, that's
Hold on.
wrong. I believe there's a median where, because the whole thing with marriage is, I think, with same-sex marriages, they can't pass on certain assets and all that other stuff, right? I think the median is for the government to endorse common law marriages that's seen by the government and not infringe on the rights of the church.
Yeah.
And that's the median that
What do we
I
say
think
that you
let
have
me
to?
put it this
Go
way.
ahead.
You to answer your question, I believe that is what the PLP was trying to do. Okay? That's what the PLP was trying to do. They were trying
Gotta read between the lines.
But was it?
Yeah,
let me
read
put it
between-
through the back door. That's what they were trying to do. And we were the first ones to say it. Now, those other three bills, if the PLP was serious, they were citizenship bills. I believe that if you have a child for a foreign man, that child should have the same rights as if.
Then you should have voted yes.
Hold on.
That's what I feel.
Hold on. You could amend that right now. You can
Yeah,
fix it.
but just like that. But you just said it, Brian. Just like how you could amend that, and you're gonna say that you don't need it, because I read your position, right?
And what we did the day after we went out to Parliament and we read the section under the law, just how when the people voted no for the gaming referendum, the government went ahead and still made a law in favor of it. We said, look here now, this does not take a constitutional referendum. And we will change it. We will make that law. We will make that law where your child would have the same benefits as a Bahamian man child. We'll make that. That's a matter of amending the law and fixing the law.
But quickly,
just like that.
But quickly,
not a referendum.
But I'm glad you said that, and I'm glad you say it just like that. Because if they did it that way, just like that, somebody could come and undo it. This is why it had to have been a constitutional referendum. This is why I disagree with you. When you said it didn't have to be a constitutional referendum, it could be amended in law. You are correct that it can be in law. However, the next party could come right behind and do it over again and turn it right back. So when it's enshrined in the Constitution, it gives it more teeth. So the discrimination would still exist within the Constitution, and that's where the problem lies. This is why I had an issue with your position on it. Because, and it's not just you that had that position, and I disagree with anybody that had that position, because you were downplaying the importance of it. The importance was to enshrine that right in the Constitution, just like it is for the other sex. Right? And that's the whole issue.
And just by having these referendums, you enshrine it, you could move it.
But it's more difficult.
But the same
it's
way,
more difficult.
You can move it.
As we've seen, because all have failed to this point.
Yeah, but the bottom line is, it is so easy. It is so easy to amend the law to fix it right now. And I said if the government was serious, just like they were adamant about the gaming referendum, this is the section you go to, and this is how you amend it, and they could do it right now. They could do it right now.
Well, again, I guess that's...
The PLP didn't do it,
yeah,
and that confirms to me what their end result was, in my view. In my view was they wanted that Bill 4 to come in, and that, my friend, would have really opened up the floodgates to same-sex marriages. Now we all have our we all have our different
opinions. We all have our different. We'll be all there if we try going to that.
The gays are coming.
Listen, I have no. That's y'all do. If y'all like, if persons feel that way, fine. But for marriages. Look,
this where people are misinformed, right? We have a whole lot of comments. I can't go through all them.
I wish your point was a good point.
I wish we could have gone. I wish we could have gone through the comments. But someone say they feel like they say, "How are you trying to tell a lawyer how it works?" Did what I said to you just now? Was that incorrect?
Which one?
When it comes to the Constitution and it being enshrined in the Constitution, giving it more teeth. And now I said that yes, you are correct. You can go and amend the laws, but would another party not be able to come and revert the laws right back?
But
I'm just for the commenters. It's good because they feel as though because you're a lawyer, you know more, and I don't know what I'm talking about.
No. The question about it being enshrined in the Constitution, well, it makes it strong, but it could also be just how you put it there. You could take it out.
Yeah, and that's what I said. But my thing is, it's more difficult because then you have to go through a whole another referendum. Yeah, you understand? But we could go with that all day.
No, but the fact that I'm a lawyer don't make me. I mean,
but you know that's how people. But that shows you where society is. Yeah. It's like because you are a lawyer, you must be right.
No, you have very good.
You know what I mean?
You have very good point there about the strength of it. But I think the overall position, I think, was that the Bill 4, and that Bill 4 dominated, and you know, as we see now, because this government did not take, like if it were me. Right? I would not have gone to the referendum on that. I would have just, if you look at our 2012 Vision 2012, we talk about this, you know.
Okay.
We talk about this. We talk about those rights of the woman and their children. And we talk about changing the law. I mean, we talk about no referendum for that. We talk about changing the law.
Right.
And we could do it. You could do it. That's easy. And give the rights right away. Yeah. But all this foolishness about, come on, they had another agenda.
Yeah. Well, we're going to wrap this one up because I know you got to go. I really appreciate you for taking all of this time already. We kidnapped Top.
I didn't realize this late, man.
Yeah, man, shoot. We're going to that's
put this one.
Yeah, man. Stop!
I know where he's going.
That is good water from
Chelsea's Choice.
All right, good.
Yes.
That didn't come from up the road where
No.
Oh boy. We close, you know.
Yeah, we are pretty close.
I don't know, boy. Any time going by so fast.
Yeah.
I can't feel it right now. All those fumes.
But Ron, once again, like I said, great respect, and I must say, a lot of the things you said and a lot of positions that you put forward, I agree with you wholeheartedly. If I was in Bamboo Town, you would have had my vote.
thank
But I ain't in Bamboo Town.
Bamboo Town.
No, I ain't in Bamboo Town.
What year are you in?
I'm in Elizabeth. I'm in Elizabeth.
Oh, Podesta more. You need to give Podesta a shot.
I get independent this round.
When you vote Podesta, you vote for me.
I get independent this round. But I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best because I do believe in what you're doing, and I really appreciate it. I like the answers that you gave. You were straightforward. You were specific on a lot of things, and you got right to the point. No dancing around the bush like politicians like you. That's why I don't
No
like.
high step, no
yeah,
shuffle.
that's why I don't like to talk to politicians.
I can't dance.
Yeah, well,
I
yeah.
guess it's that bright boy thing.
Yeah, light skin. Yeah, you can't dance. Yeah. Yes. And I want to give a big thank you to Jay Isaacs for hooking this whole thing up. You know, we did the show last week.
Use DNA. Use a DNA. Use a DNA. Hey Jay.
You know DNA yet?
I am atypical.
I am swayed by the DNA in this election.
And that's fine.
Definitely.
And that's
I
fine.
am.
And Jay for some reason thought that I would have been opposed to it. Because I don't like, I just get to the point, right? I don't dance around things. So, and most politicians just dance around. So he probably thought I don't want no politician. So he asked me, say, man, you interested in him? I say, of course.
Yeah, well, I appreciate
Bring
it.
him. No, man, I appreciate you for coming,
I
man.
always like that about him.
Yeah,
appreciate
and
it.
Tap, we cause Tap food get cold. She's supposed to go eat her food. Yeah, just go heat it up.
I'm gonna eat that.
Not
Yeah.
the styrofoam, please. That's not good.
That's right.
Cancer's good.
Yeah. So we gonna wrap this episode up once again. Thank you all for partaking. This
Thank
was
you very much.
excellent conversation, Brian. I appreciate it.
Thank you for-
Thank you, Jermaine.
getting
Thank you,
us here.
Jay. Thank you, Tap. And until next time, thank you for tuning in, people.
Thanks for everyone who watched on Facebook. We're leaving now. Say bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Have a good one.